Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? It's Super Dave with the PA Political Revolution podcast. And as usual, we're back here with another good episode. And we have a recurring guest. We have Mr. Philip Klein over here that's going to graciously give us some of his opinion and what's kind of going on in the and what's going on in the area as far as like politics. Mr. Klein, can you go ahead and say something to the people? Introduce yourself again.
Well, thank you, Super Dave, for having me back. You know, it's always fun to banter with you
Yes,
and banter, I guess I should say. And we have sometimes we're diametrically opposite. I hope I can talk tonight.
Right.
Diametrically opposite on what we believe, but by Gads, we want the best for the area, and I think you do, and I think I do, and so it gets a little crazy sometimes, and God dang, it's a full moon, is it not?
Yes,
Man.
sir. Yes, sir.
Woo! So anyway, thank you for having me again, and let's get to it.
Yeah. First off, it just thought to me. What do you think about the kids over there that did that carjacking up in Seguin? Seguin or whatnot? And I noticed that they had said they did the carjacking in Seguin, but they said they dropped the car off in Port Arthur. But they failed to mention that the kids were at they lived in the PNG area, right? Port Nature's Groves,
Yep.
and also
You and I were the only ones that pointed that out, were we not?
I think so. Out of the 5 of the kids, including one minor, 4 of them were at school. 4 of them went to PNG, and I was saying like, hey, let them know they're from PNG, because if you're actually looking for the kids, right? Who you think is going to find them? A 55-year-old detective from the Port Arthur PD,
right?
Or hell, one of his kids that played on the football team with one of them. You know what I mean?
I get it, and here's Dave. You and I have talked about this extensively, both in person and on air.
Right.
Let me tell you. Let me just tell it straight up, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in this area for 37 years. I've been an investigator and a bodyguard, personal protection officer under Texas Department of Public Safety Private Security Board for, out of those 37 years, 30 of those years. I have watched, and I'm on the streets, and I'm on the streets. I have watched the downfall of Southeast Texas, and you and I have talked about this. For number one, I believe religion out of the schools or religion out of people's lives. I think that's the first breakdown. The second breakdown, Dave, is these heartless, and I'll call it what it is, and I'm sure I'll get called out on it, but these heartless criminals that are running some of our boards, some of our courthouses, some of our judgeships, they're corrupt criminals.
Right.
And we've got to get them removed or prevent some from coming in. And lastly, most importantly, is the single-family homes. We've got to get dads back in children's lives. And some of these guys that go around and impregnate women, and then when it comes time for the birth, and then they bail out. I'm not talking about all daddies. I'm talking about 40%, 50% of the fathers in Southeast Texas are not involved in their children's lives, and they need to step up to the plate, and they need to be dads, and not just dads go for ice cream cones. Right. I mean, sit down, do homework together, go see a ball game together, sit down and go to church together and hold hands. I mean, these things, you and I talked about this also when Israel Guidry died. I went down to a church down in the west side of Port Arthur, and I gave the eulogy. And I told everybody then, we have to be one community. If we don't start being one community, and listen, that's coming from a conservative Republican. Hold your breath, right?
Right.
It's coming from a conservative Republican. We have to hold hands and support each other. The West End has to support the East End. The East End has to support the Mexicans and their community down there.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, we have to support Port Neches. Port Neches is now getting these children that are social ingrates. And then there's that big one that none of us can control. It's the stupid, what do they call those things? My grandchildren have. I took it away from my grandchildren this past week. What's it called? The iPads.
Oh,
What do they call those?
Yeah,
They got to get
iPads,
rid of those electronics and go throw a ball. They got to get rid of those electronics and go cut the grass. Go help their dads in the lawn. Go help mom paint a wall. We've got to get these children away from just shoving them in a corner and giving them a tablet. There it is, a tablet. Giving them a tablet and getting them back, to where they need to be. Right. And I don't know, Dave. I don't know. I know you're a great dad and a great person and a great, uncle and all that other good stuff. I get all that. But God, if we could put 1/4 of you and some of these men around here, I think some of the problems of Southeast Texas would solve themselves.
Now, well, what do you think of is like in trying to get together, right? What do you think that the media coverage has to do with it, right? Is because I'm pretty sure, right? If all of those kids were from Port Arthur, it would have been strictly, they would have been explicitly said that these kids were from Port Arthur. But since they're from Port Neches, went to the PNG area, they kind of withheld that. What do you think about the media coverage in particular? Is like, and it's something obvious that people can see, because if you're looking for them, you have to at least say where they're from. You
do. And you have to point it out, and no more of this hidden secrets of, oh, he's from Nederland. Oh, he's from Port Neches. You know what? He's from Southeast Texas. And that's what needs to be said. Now, in my next breath, let me tell you this. I think that the only way to fix what ails us here in Southeast Texas is rip the scab open. Everyone's fixing to go to the polls here in November on, what is it, November 6th or 7th?
Yeah,
they're going to the polls. Yeah, one of them. They're going to the polls. We have to get the right people in office. Mm-hmm. That leads me to a huge race ongoing right now in Port Arthur. That huge race is the JP race. Well, Guillory's already won the damn thing.
Right.
But now all of a sudden, we don't like Guillory. Well, if you didn't like Guillory, you should have gotten up and voted the first time. Yeah. Now we got Urkel, who I call him Urkel, which is the mayor's, I guess, his son.
Yeah. So you call Brandon Bartie Steve Urkel. That's what you call him.
Yeah. He's a black Urkel. And and I look at it, and I don't mean anything mean by it.
Right.
I just mean, okay, what has this kid done in life?
Right. Oh, yeah.
That makes him think that he can go sit on a bench and make decisions based upon the law. Well, this kid wants to do a write-in candidacy. I'll tell you what, I buy the steak dinner if he gets over 100 write-ins. I will buy you a steak dinner, Super Dave.
Yeah.
If he gets over 100 write-ins. He's not going to get 100 write-ins. It ain't going to happen.
I'm telling you.
So
go ahead.
I'm just telling you that the people are smarter. The Port Arthur community's smarter than that.
Right.
They're just smarter than that. And so what we need to do is we need to continue to tell everybody, hey, look, get out and vote. It's already decided. He's been violating every freaking law you can violate, man.
People have been violating.
I mean, come on, you're buying votes? What?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah, that's the word on the streets. They buying votes in the name of the campaign, some kind of teacher giveaway. Hate it, but that's kind of what I'm hearing, though. That's kind of what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And with Bartie, I think, right, the trickery is going to come in, right, because he has a lot of money going. I've seen his advertisement all over these different small little newspapers and stuff like that. So there's somebody's putting a lot of money behind him, and the trickery is going to go in at the actual polls, because I guarantee you, with all of this violating that the previous judge been doing, they're going to have somebody pretty much um, voting for him. They're going to have some people, they're going to have some assistants, because you can have like an assistant going in there inside the polls and pretty much kind of show you what to do. So I'm 99% sure that's what's going to happen. They're going to have all these got doggone assistants going in there and helping these elderly people and all the people that want to kind of goddamn help them vote for it, that need some help, is going to go ahead and try to type that in. That's, for my opinion,
Yep.
I believe that's where the trigger is going to come in. And I told Mr. Giller, hey, you're going to need to get some poll watchers. You're going to have to call somebody from the state to come down and try to regulate it, because that's where the trickery is going to come in my humble opinion. And it's funny that you mentioned that, what has he done in life, because people
You've
have
done
always
nothing.
people has always questioned, right? They've questioned, what does Bartie do? Some people say he don't even have a job. I mean, that's what I've been hearing. I don't know where he work at. Some people say he don't even have a job. He just do this the school board
He
thing.
doesn't have a job. We can't find him working in a job.
Right.
I mean,
So
you
that's
know,
what I'm saying. So people, you have to understand, when you got these kept politicians, right? These people that don't have jobs and they just have money, you have to understand these are plants. They're they just straight puppets. I mean, you know, that's the main thing that citizens have to try to understand when you're looking at these politicians. When you have career politicians that seems to have everything paid for them, seems to have a whole lot of money getting pumped into them. Before, when you had Mark DeRuin, there was the actual the JP. You didn't have nobody run against him for 10 years. But then again, when you have Mr. Guillory beats him, now you have two people jumping in the race in an unusual way. You have one as a write-in, and then you have this young lady. She went ahead and went and got some signatures or whatnot. Who does that as an independent candidate? That's never been done before. So people, you have to see the trickery that you have the system, the status quo, is trying to keep control of that position. Understand, it's ideal for citizens. Well, any type of entity. If you have a citizens group, or you have a political power structure, right, to control a judge. When you controlling the judge, you control law. And when you control law, that's the ultimate power that you have as a politician in this city, county, or whatever. So people, you need to understand what's at stakes here. You have Mr. Guillory that's representing the people, that can break the control of these slumlords, that you have people in O.W. Collins living in slums, and all of you low to moderate income people out there, including myself, that, you know, if you happen to live in these apartments and that you haven't under a slum law, you can kind of break that and keep them to be honest when you have an honest JP. Because but
Dave,
go ahead.
Dave, you got a 15-year-old boy that just blasted a man in the chest over on Avery Trace.
Right.
Then 6 hours later, a war zone breaks out in one of the wards on the west side with an absolute shootout that nobody's talking about. I understand there was over 45 rounds shot. What about the little babies out there that are sleeping in their beds or taking a nap, or God bless us all, trying to play on a swing set?
Yeah.
I mean, when does it stop? When and I'm not picking on Port Arthur, because Beaumont's just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
My question is, when does the shooting stop?
I'm going to tell you,
it's not the guns. It's the people behind the guns.
I'm going to tell
you,
the
drug lords.
I'm going to give you an answer to that. When we as a city can control the politics, one, and also do something with the poverty. Well, first, let me get on the poverty first. We have to have a program with the poverty, because the only statistical information that deals with crime is poverty. That's been done. That's the art of criminology, right? High poverty, high crime, low poverty, low crime. So that's one issue. We have to have some type of stop the violence, but it has to have something addressing the poverty. That's one issue. Second issue
Well, where's
is
John
controlling.
Beard? Where is, and let me ask you this, where's John Beard? Where's Hilton Kelly? Where are all these people that walk around with the big hats and the fine cars? Where are they walking in the schools, sitting down to these kids and saying, look, you can't do this. The drugs are bad. You guys can't do this. Where are they?
But that's the thing, right? John Beard, he can't do everything. Now his focus is the environmental. Now also, just like I said,
but there's more people dying of gunshots than there are environmental.
I understand what you're saying, but this is when you nothing. This is the thing. When you going and talking to some kids inside the schools, you have to show them how they can get some money. Because they're not going to listen to you by just saying it's bad, because you're going to have to show a kid how to get some money, right? Now, once you start showing kids their financial options, right, what they can do, how they can make some money as an adult and not have to go to a life of crime, that's when you're going to see real improvement. Because when we don't have too many role models where a kid can say, hey, look, I'm a process operator. Come on over here. You can do this. You can do that. The main issue is with the poverty on there. And that's so forgotten, because just like there's a guy named David Banner, right? A rapper named David Banner, kind of public activist. He came to the school a couple of times and I kind of watched him. And he pretty much said the same thing, and I agree with it, right? Well, you have to show these kids how to make some money. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. You have to show them how to make a living, and that's how you get their attention. That's how, once we have a program that deals with the violence, that addresses poverty, we'll have a good hold on that. Now, part two is we have to control the politics, right? Now, in this particular instance with the crime, we have to let the police chief do what they need to do. Right now, the police chief has to play politics because he's seen what happened to the other chief that got, ran up out of here with McDougal. I forgot his name right now. So he has to understand each person is representing or taking care of their family. He has a job first and foremost. And when we see people like, in my opinion, what's that doggone property manager? iTex. When we see people like iTex be able to screw over the citizens, and we see iTex making deals with the council, that's going to give the other people the idea, hell, we can make deals with the council too. And a lot of these apartments, they should be hit with nuisance ordinance, right? Nuisance orders, pretty much, you can do anything you want to, basically, under a nuisance orders. You can shut some of these spots down. But the city does not want to do that for whatever reason, right? So I believe, in my opinion, they probably have some type of deal worked in with them, just like they have deals worked in with iTex, where they don't fix these. For iTex particularly, I believe that they have deals with them where they don't fix the doggone the properties that they have these citizens living in straight slum. And that's when I believe over there too, because we've done it before with a nuisance ordinance, right? We've used that before. And the crime with them particular apartments is way out of control to not do it. The only reason you can give me for not doing is you probably getting the cut under the table, in my humble opinion. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's no other reason, because we've done it before. The game plan is down. The game plan is right there. See, this is not rocket science when dealing with this crime, right? It is not rocket science. You have to you have to deal with the poverty on one end, and you have to deal with politics and policing on the other. I mean, that's just simple. It's simple. I mean, it's not a big deal where you can't just knock it out. You can knock it out, brother.
Yep, I'm with you. I don't have a problem with anything you just said. But now let me throw a bone in the machine.
Right. Go ahead.
Name me 3 leaders in Port Arthur right now that are not elected. Name me 3.
Name you 3.
I got one that popped into my brain.
3 leaders that are not elected right now?
That are not elected.
They are not elected. Harold Doucette, Willie Bay Lewis, John Beard.
Nah, come on. They're not leaders. They've had their chance. Didn't happen for them.
I mean, yeah.
You know that. Didn't happen for them.
Well, yeah.
Leaders. I'm talking about men that will stand up and say what needs to be said and lead. I'll give you one. Langston Adams.
Okay. Okay. What thing has he led recently? I believe he has some good leadership.
Oh, come on. The guy's involved in everything with the state bar. He's involved in a lot of stuff. He represents the community. He's a community representative.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a good character fixture. Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Okay.
I can't name anybody else. I'm not as smart as you are or knowledgeable as you are out there.
Now I know. But now I know Langston used to be more political back in the days, right? But I kind of think he's probably taken a back seat because he has to be more. He has to deal with politics now since in my opinion, his son is doing well in sports, and I believe he's trying to get him into the league. That's what I think his kind of focus is right now. So he used to be a strong, but you're absolutely right. Back in the days doing the Edison Square, back doing what was that other thing? The slaughterhouse. Yeah, he was a good, strong political person back then. But now, things kind of change for different people and they kind of focus. But, like you say, the ones I named is they still trying to work, in behind the scenes, like Mr. Doucette, he's still trying to, get people to understand, get this council to kind of do things by the book and, let it be transparent. You have Mr. Bay Lewis, he's doing some things, trying to, work on the voting rights and stuff like that. So, you have different people in the background doing different things, and I'm trying to do the same thing too, trying to be a little bit a part of different stuff, fighting for the Open Meetings Act.
You're a kingmaker. You're a kingmaker.
Yeah, I'm trying to be, brother. I'm trying to make some kings. I'm trying to,
but there's so much talent in Port Arthur. Oh my God, there's so much talent. But the bad guys keep getting into office.
That's exactly it.
And I don't get it.
The bad guys, the dummies, the corrupt ones. Yeah,
the dummies.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right?
I don't mean to. You drag me up there.
I mean,
the dummies. You're right. The dummies.
You look at this. Look, prime example, right? You have this mayor. You have a mayor, right? We in 2018, we was after Harvey. We had drainage issues that we needed to address, right? Back then, we had the city involved. We had DD7 involved. We have engineers involved, Snow, Wilson, and Cole. We even had Colonial Pipeline, some other people that I'm probably forgetting that's involved. Everybody in the county was involved and had a plan, had a process to go ahead and update some of this drainage by Jimmy Johnson over there, right? Because what's to happen was the flooding in Jimmy Johnson, it was adequate back when it was marsh. But when the Hayes and everybody else had developed the Stonegate area and Jimmy Johnson area, it was hyper developed. So you have all of these developments where they didn't upgrade the drainage. Now, also they didn't upgrade the drainage, and also that all of that marsh, they put cement on there, which was cement roads, cement slabs for the buildings, all the new developments going on there, so that water sits on there instead of being absorbed by the marsh land. So, and all that water has somewhere to drain. So when they developed it, they didn't develop the drainage and none of that. So now that's where we have the bottleneck with water coming right there, flooding Stonegate and Jimmy Johnson area, right? Some of your nicer homes up there. We had a plan, man. I still have the PDF now. It's a 46 or 49-page PDF where they implement everything. I mean, it was well thought of. It was immaculate, right? In my opinion. So we get the mayor come on here and the city manager kind of take over, right? We have stalls. We're going back to try to get money from FEMA to kind of go ahead and deal with this. An excuse that they can't do it is because they get money from FEMA. But before, when you had the city with a main leader being Mr. Harold Doucette, we was going to check for FEMA right here, but if FEMA didn't get it done, that plan was going to be put in the capital improvements plan where it's going to get its funding right there, because either way, if we get federal help from the government or not, this needed to be done. But we have some clowns over here, right? Like Mayor Bartie, particularly speaking against it. He was talking about that something was wrong in the sale of the retention pond for the property for it. But fool, we already have retention ponds over there. They want to rebuild the drainage line because it's collapsed over there and add another one. So we have all of these professionals saying, "Hey, it's good to go," but you have crazy ass Bartie talking about, "I don't think it's wrong. Something's amok. We need to go ahead on and change it." So if you're going to change it, the only thing that can mean is not do the retention pond, right? So that means not doing the drainage project. This is the type of craziness we have in Port Arthur. Port Arthur has been sold to the highest bidder, so much so that these guys they just try to run the city like it's they just try to run it like they can do anything, man. It's absurd. They do so much where they want to they want to goddamn harm the city. They want to sabotage the stuff. It's crazy,
That's right.
brother. It's crazy.
But why? Let me tell you something. And I'm not trying to cut you off there. But what I'm trying to tell you is, so we just put up on the Southeast Texas Political Review the video of Fox News tonight.
Yeah.
Featuring that fight from up at BISD on the Tucker Carlson show.
Right.
Okay? We just put it up. As I'm sitting here talking to you, they came running in here right just a second ago and said, "We got it up. It's up." Everyone needs to watch what the world thinks of us.
Right.
Dude, we're an embarrassment. We're an embarrassment to the world out there. What's wrong with us?
Now, did they get in there? Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Why? Why is this happening? And you hit it right on the head. Because we elect the wrong people to office. Look at the people that's on your on the Port Arthur Independent School District Board.
Right.
Come on, we can't do better than that.
Yeah.
We can't do better than that.
Yeah.
Look who's on the BISD board. 3 of them have criminal records.
Right.
We can't do any better than that.
Yeah.
Why can't we do better?
Right.
Does nobody care anymore?
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you, Dave, is that I am, and I don't want to be over melodramatic, but I'm just one guy that has a website that over 20, now it's up to 40,000, 40,000 people look at a day. Okay, 40,000.
Great, yeah.
And I'm well over 30 million hits a year.
Okay, yes, sir.
Now, Dave, are people reading my words because they're mad? Or are they reading my words because they don't see this stuff, what's really going on in our area?
Right.
And so they want to come here and see what's really going on. Because you know me, I'm not scared of anybody. I don't care. I have a Republican that's furious with me right now. Imagine that, right?
Absolutely.
And so I guess what I'm kind of trying to say to you is that we all, as family, as people that want to work together, live together, and do things together, maybe it's just time for us to maybe put down our swords, go to a church, pray just a little bit. Just pray. Ask God for direction and speed and I guess that's what I'm trying to say, Dave. Maybe it's time to call in a higher power because what we're doing ain't working, friend. It ain't working.
Okay, tell me.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Well,
tell me I'm wrong. I may be wrong.
Well, it's just you may not be wrong. Just my opinion. Well, a lot of people will agree with the higher power, right? A lot of people will agree with the higher power, but I'm on the side of we have to do this ourselves. I can't leave the scapegoat to a higher power, right? And that's just me. That's just me, and that's That's just my opinion. We have to. Sometimes we can use religion as a scapegoat. A lot of time, that's what we do. In my opinion, black folks, right? We get used by religion too much, so that politically, right? That I want to kind of get away with from that. That's just me, because only in the black community we have politicians going to these churches or whatnot. You don't see that in white churches. You don't see that in Muslim churches, Muslim mosque, or synagogues or whatever from Jewish. We don't see that nowhere, but in the black community, right? So I'm just kind of on the edge of kind of here, have your religion, but I don't want to scapegoat everything to somebody else, a higher power, where it relieves the responsibility from us. We still have to have that
Oh, and
responsibility.
I agree, but I'm just asking.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I understand, but when I have to kind of differentiate that, because when black folk, right, we get used with the religion and all that. So we get used. I know it's a difference when you say it. I understand, when you say it, but when black folks say it, it gets turned it gets turned around politically, right? We have all these black Democrats coming ready to dance and all that stuff at the churches. Hell, we don't want to dance. We trying to get some policy passed. So, that's off my
Well,
list.
yeah, I get you.
That's kind of,
I get you.
That's like Reverend Al Sharp and Jesse Jackson. We don't want all of that rhetoric. We want to get, we need some policies passed. So, want to go off on.
Right. And I'm with you. I'm with you on that, and I hear you.
Yeah.
I guess all I'm trying to say is this. We have got to come together as communities.
Yeah.
We have got to come together.
Now on that,
we've got to.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the fight a little bit, right? Tell me what was different about that fight than any other high school fight that made it kind of newsworthy?
Two things. Two literal things. Number one, the boy was lured into the bathroom to steal his money and to steal his cell phone.
Okay.
That means we got an organized group of people running around doing shit. Okay?
Right.
Door number two, and probably the most important, is that this is completely and totally social breakdown. This kid is lucky he's alive. Mm-hmm. That last throw into the wall, that kick to his face.
Yeah.
That's somebody. That's somebody right there that needs to be in prison. I don't care if he is 17 years old. He needs to go to prison. He wants to go play those games. Go play those games. Go play somewhere else.
Now, is there any? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm just saying. Those are the people that need to be in prison. Okay, they're not. He's never going to be rehabilitated. I'm telling you that right now. I got $100 there that says he ain't going to be rehabilitated. And this poor little boy laying on the floor, that's a problem. Now, I know I'm going to create a tidal wave of friggin' issues right now with
fine.
Many in the black community.
Go ahead, brother.
But I want you to listen.
I want to address it too. Go
I know, but I want you to listen to me.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm a white man.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a white man. Can't change that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right,
I'm a white man.
Yes,
I'm a conservative.
Yes,
I'm a Republican.
Right on.
But the last thing anybody will ever tell you that really knows me, that I am anything but racist.
Yeah, I understand.
I will tell you this right now. There were 4 black boys that beat that boy into the ground at Westbrook and broke his jaw, broke 5 bones in his head, and created I don't know how many stitches in his head. I guarantee you that if the role was reversed and those were 4 white boys that beat a little black boy and created that amount of injuries, we would have marches down Highway 69. We would have attacks all over the area. Black Lives Matter would fly in on their private jets and helicopters and arrange marches. I know, and they have planes and helicopters now, right? You know that. I
I'm
mean,
pretty
they,
sure.
they had enough money they could buy it.
Oh yeah, I
We'd
believe it. I
have
believe it. I believe it.
we'd have movie stars, black, white, green, yellow, purple movie stars marching. They'd be in here saying, "Oh, how horrible and terrible it is." But you know what we're getting out of the black community? You know what we're getting out of the Hispanic community? Do you know what we're getting out of the German community? Nothing.
Okay.
Out of the white community, nothing. Not a word. Nobody's saying a word. It's kind of like the aura that I'm hearing out there is that, well, he's white. He probably deserves it. What? 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 He's just a kid. He's in ninth grade, for God's sake. I mean, where is the white community? Where's the black community? Where's the Hispanic community? Where is the Chinese community, the Japanese community? Where is everybody out at the football stadium tonight holding hands and praying for this little boy? Where are they? They're not there. Nobody cares. And then you get Malvo. He gets on TV last night and says, well, the integrity of BISD is well in place. These people that posted that up for their own political wise, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, yeah, they do have political wise on that. I don't want to see another boy in ninth grade get ganged up on by anybody. 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 You hear me? Anybody.
Right.
I don't want to see that ever again. I don't want to see a boy kick another boy in the face like the guy did that little boy. I tell you, and you know what, Super? You and I talked about this off air.
Yeah.
I have 6 little grandchildren, 3 of which will be going to the BISD school district. It scares the hell out of me. And I'm probably maybe one of the most decorated PPO officers in the state of Texas. One of the most longest longevity wise. It scares me. It makes me think, what would my little grandson do? Hell, what would my granddaughters do? And it's scary, just like you. It should scare you. It should scare everybody out there. We don't need this. You know, I get people all the time walk up to me. I was at a restaurant at lunchtime today. I had a girl walk up to me and goes, "You Philip Klein?" I said, "I am." And I'm just waiting on it because usually people chew my butt out a little bit. So you shouldn't have said that in the review. Da, 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 da. She goes, "May I hug you?" I said, "Ma'am?" She goes, "May I hug you?" I said, "Well, sure, Karen, I'll give you a hug. I love to give pretty girls a hug."
Yeah.
And she laughed. She thought that was funny. And I said, "Why'd I get a hug?" She goes, "You're saying what I'm thinking." Think about that. How powerful is that? You're saying what I'm thinking. Why can't we get you, Mr. Klein, to run for public office and say you would have Republicans, Democrats, Independents. You'd have, hell, you probably have Russians marching behind you. You know, do the right thing. Do the right thing. You know, Jeff Brannick, I'm trying to find Jeff tonight. So the politicians need, and I realize everybody's going to election time, but you know what? The first guy that gets out there on the podium and stands up and goes, "That's ridiculous. That shouldn't happen. We've got to stop it. We've got to come together." They're going to have a following like they've never seen before.
Right.
Right. And it's the truth. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Now.
Okay, tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Right.
I may be wrong. I don't know.
I just want to kind of give you some pushback on that video, right? Want to go ahead and talk about the video and dissect that video a little bit. Now, when I watched it, right? Now I seen one person, one black guy fight the other white kid, right? Now I seen the others kind of sitting back on the sink or whatever, kind of backed up. And I noticed on that fight, the kid, he was mad about something. The black kid was mad. I was fighting. He was swinging with some
Yeah,
evil
because he told the
intentions.
kid to give him his phone. According
I
to the police report, he told the
okay,
kid to give him his phone because he
okay,
was going to take his phone from him. The kid said, "No, that's my phone." So he
okay.
proceeded to beat the shit out of him.
and 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 then I didn't, and I didn't hear like from a straight victim. He's like, quit playing with me. He was kind of mad for something, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
didn't see the kid try to run out there and try to go around anything. He didn't really holler. I didn't hear the kid hollering. Like, I would assume normal victim. Hey, what the hell going on here? What you trying to take my money? No, oh hell, trying to run out the stall or whatnot, right? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear that on that. And then what I kind of
Mm-hmm.
thought of, what that remind me of a little bit, that remind me of that black girl, some of that black girl in Port Natures was fighting that the white girl, right? Even though it looked like the
Mm-hmm.
black girl beat up the white girl, but it was later found out that the white girl was doing all kind of racist stuff to the young black girl over there at Port Nature. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of reminded
I
me of
heard
that.
about that.
So
I did. I
yeah,
heard about
yeah,
that.
we had some issue, we had some kind of words over it. I remember a while back, but that's why I need to get more of the information on that, because if ever look, I'm gonna tell you this: it's no conspiracy for everybody to help black folk, right? I guarantee you, if this was some type of racial incident or was a clear cut of robbery inside Westbrook, these kids would be all on the news, shipped out there, black, white, everybody else would get them. They'd be poster children for what's evil, and they'd be blamed for everything that's wrong in BISD. So I want to need to kind of get some information on what kind of really happened from all the parties involved, because if this was a clear
I
cut
know what
case of,
happened.
if this was a
I know
clear
what
cut
happened. The other. What do
case
you
of
think the other
robbery,
four kids did? What do
they
you think the other four kids did?
they were
They dropped
sitting,
dime on the kid.
they
They
was they
dropped
was
dime
sitting.
on him.
Yeah, they were sitting. It was serious. They was looking. It was serious. It was looking.
Their
It's
parents,
like,
their parents need to have a serious discussion.
yeah,
Their
yeah.
parents need to. They need to sit those kids down and say, "What are you people thinking of? Why didn't anybody jump in and try to help? Why?" That's a question.
Right, right.
But
Yeah,
they scared of the big kid beating up on the little kid and thinking they're next.
yeah.
Does the
It's
kid have a connection to a gang? I mean, there's a
yeah,
lot of things.
yeah. They're look. It is look.
And listen, for some
Go
of
ahead.
you listening out there, that you folks think that I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, all black kids are in gangs, or all Mexicans in gangs and whites aren't." No, there's white gangs all over the place.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Hell's Angels,
but it's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, Hell's Angels, Aryan Brotherhood, the old
Aryan
school
Brotherhood.
Ku Klux
Hell,
Klan.
they just as soon shoot me than shoot at anybody else.
What's the goddamn ones they say Trump was affiliated? The Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers,
Proud Boys.
Proud Boys,
Proud
Oath Keepers. So it's
Boys.
a whole plethora of white goddamn racial
Hell,
groups.
somebody
Didn't they
used a
just
clip
say
of
it?
me.
Didn't they just say the Oath Keepers? They had a whole lot of law enforcement down with them. So I guarantee you, any law enforcement is racist. So if there's an excuse to kill one of these black kids, I guarantee you they will. So
Absolutely.
just on the sheer fact that you saying that everybody
Hell,
is,
they'll kill me.
I mean, yeah, yeah, that everybody is
They
not
kill
doing.
me. They look at me like they want to kill me.
Now
You
if
think I'm kidding?
and if
These
it's
people want to kill me.
and if it's something to the effect that that they're not giving these kids a pass, you gotta understand when Beaumont, when BISD, right, when they went after Calvin Walker and all that stuff, they showed you what they did about black folk. They went after the whole black BISD, so these kids wouldn't be anything different if it was a clear cut robbery. So see,
Sure.
I'm looking at all of that. I'm looking at the whole history of BISD
Sure.
and how they deal
And
with
I
black folks.
understand.
And I know
And I understand that's how people think about
is no conspiracy
the
about
BISD
saving
electrician.
black
What was
folk.
his name? Calvin Walker.
Is no conspiracy on saving black folk over there in Southeast Texas. I guarantee you that. So
Mm-hmm.
if these black kids are getting saved and nobody doing something about it, it must be something else to the issue where we don't know, because historically speaking, right, with BISD, they slammed the hell out of black folks. They I remember Langston had a case where some police officers beat some black black guys, or whatever. So there's no conspiracy on saving black folk in Southeast Texas. So, I'm just saying it has to be some more to the story than just nobody ain't saying nothing and letting these thugs get off.
You'll learn the story here very soon.
Yeah.
It was a robbery. The other kids just stood there because they were petrified. But you know what? If it had been me and I was their age, my daddy would have said, "Put your damn cell phone down and get that boy off of him."
Yeah.
And they would have think about this.
And by the other kids.
This is how scary it is.
Yeah.
If that boy had hit him in the head the right way and broke his neck and he laid there on the bathroom floor and he died, do you know how many of those kids would be charged with accessory to homicide?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably
That's the statute.
Probably so. I mean, yeah, probably so. Probably so because
that's the statute.
I know the reason why I was saying probably so is because if you have some white kids up in there, you can't, you'd have to get all the kids. You can't say half the kids with the white guy that was being beat up, so we can't have them as a statue, but we can do all the black. So that's why I say, probably so on that. But
absolutely, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
and Dave, I know you, and I know your family would have brought you up the same way. Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh heck yeah.
Get off that boy!
Yeah.
Don't you dare kick him in the face like that.
He tried to break him up, but when I was looking at it, I was looking at specifically the looks on what the other kids were doing. Right, it didn't seem like no robbery. The other kids just sitting there looking. They had some concern on their face, and it wasn't robbery like to me. I mean, you don't do robberies like that. You go in, you hold somebody down, you go through the pockets, you kind of run out, on something like that with kids.
I just know what the police are telling me.
Yeah, I know
what the police are telling me.
I never seen.
Why would they lie?
I never seen a one-on-one robbery before. You got like 5 kids and one-on-one robbery. I know you were saying they all jumped on them, but in that video, I only seen that one guy was fighting him. He was slamming him, and he hit him to the ground, and it was. He was mad for some reason. I mean, you say because he didn't give him his wallet, and I don't know. It could be, but that didn't look like a robbery to me. One guy beating up on some guy, and the others kind of back.
I'm a guy on the street.
They look serious.
I'm a guy on the street. Okay, I'm a guy on the street, and there are situations where I arrest people.
Yeah.
For jumping bail. There's been a couple of felony detentions I've done. I'm nowhere near any of the street cops anywhere in Southeast Texas or in the state of Texas. These guys have a job that nobody understands. And I feel so bad for them that they have to take the verbal abuse. They have to take all this. But let me tell you something. I arrested a guy that I came to his house and I said, "Look, you were supposed to show up in court yesterday. I've got to take you into custody." "Oh, okay, Mr. Klein. Not a problem." "Okay. I'll tell you what, you're cooperating. Let's do this. Come on and get my Tahoe. We'll come on and drive on up to the courthouse. I'll bring you in front of to the DA, and he can bring you in front of the judge, and you can kind of explain yourself. I understand your mama's sick, and there's other stuff going on. I get it. So let's try to do this right thing, rather than take him in the Tahoe and put him in jail, right? I don't want to do that. I want, he's got a sick mama laying there. I was looking at her. And I said, let's go do that. We got out on the front freaking porch, and this guy turned into Jackie Chang and started doing flip kicks and hit me in the head. and I just kind of got my bell rung, and I went, what? Well, one thing everybody knows with Phil Klein, don't hit him in the head, because if you get him in the head, it's over. I mean, he's going to tear your ass up. And this 63-year-old body can still do it. Yeah, and I guarantee I got him down, and I got him in handcuffs, and I picked him up by his little dreads and his pants, and I threw him in the back of the Tahoe, and he goes, "Well, I thought you were taking me to the courthouse." I said, "What is wrong with you? Blood's running down my face." I said, "What is wrong with you? You don't get what you just did? You lied to me." Oh, God, now it's my fault. You know what? No. He copped that charge, an assault charge, and an attempted murder charge because he had a gun on him.
Oh, snap.
I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
All I tried to do was something nice. But I'm just telling you, equally, I get more people in the white community. If you want to play black and white here, I get more people in the white community that fight me, that beat me up, that try to take advantage of me. It's not the color of your skin.
It's
the mental mind thought.
Yeah, there too. Yeah.
And we ask these cops every day of the week to go out and deal with this white, green, blue, yellow, purple. We ask them to freaking just treat everybody equal. And what happens? They get shot at. They get beat up. They get, everybody asks me, why are you a member of the 100 Club? I'm not a member of any club anywhere in anything, because you know why? I might have to investigate them, might have to arrest them. I might have to, so I just don't do it. Right?
Right.
Except for the 100 Club.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what they go through. Every time I see a cop eating dinner, I pick up the tab, and they always look around the room like, who picked up the tab? Who picked up the tab? Oh, my God, someone bought my lunch. It's a little, a hamburger and a fry and a Coke? What is that, $6?
Right.
A little $6 gesture. Mm-hmm. Try to do that. Try to find a place. Try to make the place you're at a little bit better than you found it.
Right.
That's my point. That's what I try to tell everybody. And, Dave, it's kind of like you. And I know you're running out of time and we got to get going.
Oh, yeah.
But and I'm not blowing smoke up your butt, Dave. I'm telling you straight up. This Port Arthur podcast you do does more to get people thinking than you'll ever know.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I know you. I'm proud to say I call you friend. Mm-hmm. And I'm most proud that you are one of the leaders in Port Arthur with a leading voice. Do I agree with everything you say? Hell no. To be honest with you, sometimes I don't agree with everything I say.
Right.
But especially when it comes to the grandchildren, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How many cookies did you get? 4? Mm-hmm. Well, I see 10 sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to count. Oh, okay. But I just really want you to know what you're doing with this podcast revolution. You can't put a dollar number on that, friend. You just can't. And I don't know. This is my we started in 95. So what is it? This is my. Let's see. That'd be 5, 15. This will be my 30th year coming up.
Okay.
Doing the Southeast Texas Political Review. Did you know that? I've been doing this 30 years.
Oh, no, I didn't know you were doing it that long.
You know what they told me when it first started?
What did they tell you?
The Beaumont Enterprise called me a gadfly. The Beaumont Enterprise said, it'll never take off. It'll never happen. Now I get more people look at my site than the Beaumont Enterprise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Port Arthur News called me a loser.
Oh, man.
Didn't think I could move the news. I moved the news. You moved the news.
Oh, yeah.
We're moving the news out here in the blog world.
Right, absolutely.
Why? Because we're not scared.
No. And social
Think about
media.
that, Dave.
Oh, yeah, man. Look.
Think about the power next time you put your fingers on the keyboard. That's what I'm told all the time by my lawyers.
Yeah.
Think about the power. Think about doing the right thing. There's my dad's voice again.
So social media has broken loose in the average person, right? Able to have a voice. So you don't have to you don't have to play politics with the big media. You don't have to play politics with the TV news, with the print news. You can just get you a camera and a YouTube page, a few mics, and you can go for what you know. You can get your own rogue type of news media out there. You can get your own niche going, right? You can say things people are not willing to say because you're not regulated by the FCC. It's a different animal. Some people don't like it, but hey, look, I love it. Why would I try to infringe on my rights of free speech? It doesn't make any sense. Some people say, that social media came out here and everybody got a voice. Yes. We all got a voice.
And then you get people up at Facebook and Twitter and all those other things that start taking down the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
That's sad there.
Oh, yeah, that was sad right there. I hate it.
I know you agree with me there. Do you not?
Oh, absolutely. I seen it when they did it to Trump. You don't have to agree with them, but whenever you have some type of YouTube or Facebook saying that the president with I don't know how many type of special clearances is giving out false information. I mean, what makes you have more knowledge than the president, that has to have all them clearances? So, I already said something was wrong with that.
But like we talk about all the time, Dave, the opposite can happen.
Yeah.
They just put out all over the media. Oh, Trump's having a secret meeting on the golf course. Ooh.
Right.
Come to find out, Trump was out there with his lawyers and engineers trying to figure out how the man can improve the watershed in Washington, D.C. at one of his properties. That's all the meeting was.
Right.
But everybody immediately goes, ooh, secret meeting.
Yeah, and
here we go.
Yeah, and
I mean, come on. What are we made up of 2-year-olds?
And the same thing with this investigation, right? Just like all the other investigations, he's not going to jail. He's not going to get charged. It's just to sully his name for trying to run for re-election again. So, I just try to get people to see, the politics and all of this, right? It's just a dog and pony show, right? The impeachment, the same thing, the impeachment. There's all of this is a flop. He's not going to jail. It's just getting to your emotions.
The biggest waste of time.
Right,
biggest waste of time for our government.
Yeah, you're not doing that.
The biggest waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, look at the impeachment. What did that do? You probably forgot about the impeachment. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I mean,
does anybody ever remember it?
Yeah, the June 16th.
Everybody knew what it was going to be before it happened.
Like the June 6th, I don't think nothing came of that from him. Nothing didn't stick on him from that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it's still going, but all this is a dog and pony show. This is just propaganda. You have to understand how to look at it.
Could you imagine if the Republicans had treated Barack Obama the way Donald Trump was treated by the Democrats? Could you imagine the war that would break out?
Yeah.
Look, I've said it 100 times. I'm going to say it 101. We are very, very, very close to a civil war in this country. We are.
Something. Yeah. I could, something like that.
We are.
Something
and
like
you know
that.
what? Dave, I'll fight alongside you any day of the week, my good friend.
Yeah.
Any day of the week, my good friend, I'd fight next to you.
Appreciate it.
And I'd fight next to any single person that lived in Port Arthur or in Beaumont. I'd fight for my country. I damn sure would. Right. I damn sure would, my good friend.
All right.
Because you know what? In the end, we're fighting for democracy. Yeah. In the end, we're fighting for our Constitution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brother.
And there's people out there that want to take our country down. And don't fool yourself. Mm-hmm. The Chinese are not our friend. The Russians are not our friend.
You're right, yeah.
But the funny thing to watch is they're better friends with Biden. They're better friends with Biden than they were with Trump. Go figure.
Hey, the Ukraine's not our friends either, as far as I'm concerned. Them racist jokers.
No, they're not.
Hey, and we keep giving money to them.
So. Money? Hell, we've given them more war armament that went through in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. The whole thing is on top of itself, and nobody can figure it out because of modern day media. And I'm telling you, it's I don't know. I'll know more when I get back. I leave for D.C. tomorrow, and I'm going to be up there with the movers and shakers, and I'll know a lot more when I get back. But I tell you this, pray for this country. That's what I say. And I'm not, and you know me. Mm-hmm. I cuss like a sailor, and I have a beer with the boys. And I'm not Mr. Perfect. That is for darn sure. But my good friend, I have my friends, my fellow Americans, my fellow Jefferson County friends, even the people that don't like me, I still like them. You know why?
Yes, sir.
Because we all are in the same boat together. We just hadn't figured out how to get off it with a life raft yet. Right?
Yes, sir. And hey, that sounds good. And if you want to leave out with the last word, brother, go ahead.
Thank you so much for honoring me and letting me be on your show. You'll never know how much I appreciate this, and I want the people of Port Arthur to know how much I respect them and how much I want their success. I want everyone to be successful. I don't want anybody not to be successful other than Russia and China.
Right.
I don't care if they're successful or not.
Yes,
but
sir.
I want all Americans, and especially us here in Jefferson County, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, I want everybody to get together and let's all be successful in the things we need to do.
Yes, sir. And that sounds good as the last word. And for everybody, take it easy. Peace. Oh, and like and share this podcast. Peace.